should have no issues here, I think. Oh man, vigilance on everything. Everything's got trample. Good luck. Good luck. That's about 700 damage coming your way. Oh, I love this deck. I love it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So with new cards coming into the meta, some of the old mechanics and cards that we used to play get pushed off to the side because we get all these new toys and we want to try out different mechanics. But today we are going to go back a little bit and we're going to play some more Zendikar Rising, a card in particular, Scute Swarm, that I would argue was one of the better cards for a while, and people were breaking this thing left and right. And I wanted to just throw together a ramp list that runs the Scute Swarm and see if it's still good. And believe me, the gameplay footage speaks for itself. But before I get into all of this and break this thing down, as always, if you are new here and you find any value in today's video, if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. It goes a very long way, as well as a like. But with that being said, let's talk about the deck. We'll get into the gameplay footage and then we'll wrap it up here again with some final thoughts on how we thought the deck performed. But anyways, kicking things off, this is a ramp deck. This is a Selesnya ramp deck, so we want really, expensive cards to play on the top end to kind of finish out the game. But we need some really good ramp cards along the way to keep us going and also to keep us alive long enough to play those bigger spells. So how are we going to do this? So we're kicking things off with the 2-mana Druid class. Ideally, we want this in our opening hand, right? This is going to gain us life every time we drop a land. Also, it's going to allow us to ramp on turn, or on turn 3, we can level this up to 2. We can start playing 2 lands a turn, which is going to double up the life gain, and eventually we can finish them with the the level 3 there with the 5 mana. Turn a land into a hasty creature and just go over the top for the win. We've got a new card here, the Restoration of Iganjo. I don't know how to say that, but this is technically a ramp card here because what it does is it takes we play the artifact or the enchantment, we get the land from our deck, which is pretty awesome, but then the following turn on Saga, the second part of the Saga, we get to play a card for free. Essentially we discard a land, play that land for free, which ramps us up a turn if we have another land in hand. We've also got Field Trip, which is going to access a sideboard for us, but at the same time, it's going to ramp us up. Obviously, we talked about Scute Swarm. This is going to be one of our finishing creatures here. We've also got Felidar Retreat, a really busted card if we're going to be throwing down a ton of lands here. This is going to be spitting out value like crazy. It's going to be, creating cats if we have no blockers. And it's also going to be putting 1/1 counters and vigilance on all of our creatures. Asika's Chariot, because it's just still the best card ever. Yasharn is a great way to deal with mono black and treasures and things like that because they won't be able to sacrifice those things for value. And it also is a big 4/4 body that gets us 2 lands, which is really, really good, especially if there's a Druid class on the field. We get to play both those lands, which is pretty ridiculous. And then we have 3 Glorious Sunrises here. Glorious Sunrise is going to allow us to do a lot of things. We can gain life, draw cards, and we can go over the top and finish a game with the ability to give trample. We've also got 4 Wrenn and 7s because this is going to be our main key victory. The Tree Folk is going to be busted. Plus, if you can plus the Wrenn and 7 with Ranger class level 2 out, spitting out 2 lands every turn is pretty sweet. And then we have Farewell. If things go sideways for us, Farewell is a really great removal tool, especially for ramping up. It does cost 6, but we get to kind of select what things we want to exile and sweep them completely off the board forever, which is really nice. And then 2 Storm the Festivals because everything in our deck, almost everything, is a permanent. Aside from Field Trip and Farewell, we should be able to hit no problem, at least 2 permanents. And so that's going to be a big over-the-top finisher as well. We've also got 2 Lair of the Hydras for some finishing power as well. And lastly, our sideboard is 2 Environmental Sciences, Reduced to Memory, Containment Breach, 2 Mascots, and a Fractal Summoning for a potentially a huge Fractal creature. So that is the deck, though, in a nutshell. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It's a lot of fun, man. This gameplay footage is pretty awesome, and we'll meet you guys back here at the end for some final thoughts. Peace. All right, here we go. We're going to be playing some Selesnya ramp today, baby. We're going to be hopefully creating some really, really big Wrenn and 7 tokens and just hitting some Farewells that are just going to be absolutely destructive. That's a keep. That's a keep. No questions about it. We've got a long way to go, though, man. As you can see, my rank here, man, just absolutely. I just gotta stop playing non-meta things in the ladder, you know what I'm saying? But I can't help myself. I just genuinely cannot help myself. All right, let's see what our opponent's up to here. They're Boros. Interesting. Let's just go ahead and play an additional land here. Let's keep gaining life here. So for each modified creature they control, they get an extra 2/0 on this guy. So they're going to be putting 1/1 counters on their stuff here. This says whenever Samurai Warrior you control attacks alone, it gains lifelink. Target creature you control gains indestructible to the end of turn if they sacrifice this. Okay, so they can sacrifice this to give this indestructibility, and they're going to give lifelink to samurais that attack alone. Got it. So this is a pure samurai list. We can clearly surmise. Let's go with Felidar Retreat, and we'll go with the land here to spit out a 2/2, gaining a little bit of life as well. We've also got Yasharn, which is pretty sweet. Yasharn's going to make it to where no one can sacrifice things, which is really helpful when you're talking about mono black and things like that. Renin 7 with the Druid class as well. Pretty bonkers. We plus, and we could just throw out all the lands that we grab, which is pretty awesome. Alright, so they're going to go give double strike. And they're going to give lifelink. I'm actually just going to leave my cat here. Just protect my cat, no blocks. Because if I give it a +1/1 counter next turn, it can block that and actually trade. So let's just wait and see what's up. We are kind of giving him a bit of time here to set up. What do we want to do with this? That's actually a really good card. It draws us cards, it gains its life, it does a lot of things. I think Yasharn here, just to guarantee we hit our land drops, seems fine. I think that's better, honestly. It's a 4/4 body, and it continues to hit our land drops, so we're gonna go ahead and do it. And let's go ahead and give everything 1/1. That seems pretty good to me. I mean, if you're asking me, that seems pretty freaking good to me. Let's trade with that 3/3 renegade if they're down. No? Okay. We deal 3. We're down to 20. Renin 7 comes in and spits out the most ridiculous token you've ever seen. 4, 5, 6, 7. It's already a 7/7. Haste 4/3 whenever Samurai Warrior control attacks alone gets 1/0 to the end of turn. Okay, so it's a 7/3. I'm happy to trade all day. They are gaining a lot of life though, which is kind of frustrating, I can't lie. I think I'm gonna go Renin 7 here. I got plenty of protection actually, so I'm actually gonna plus Ren for 1 turn here. There we go. 2 more lands. Let's do it like this. Let's create a cat. Let's play this. And let's play this. And I'd say that's a pretty darn good situation we're in here, huh? A pretty darn good situation we're in here. What are you gonna do against that? Like, I don't think you can do anything against that, right? Like, come on. We're gaining life every land that hits the battlefield. We're popping every land down like 2 lands down a turn like it's nothing. Do whatever it is you gotta do, my friend. Get that lifelink, you know what I'm saying? No problems here. I might not even need that tree folk. Let's go here. Let's go here. I mean, this is it, right? I mean, what do you do? What do you do? Yeah, let's say that's got to be game, right? Oh, GG's, that felt pretty solid. I like that a lot. I didn't know SELESNYA was gonna feel that good, man. I really didn't. I was actually kind of worried about this build, but that felt really clean. With all the life gained from Druid class, that felt really nice. We get to go first. We ramp into a farewell. I don't think we can pass that up. In almost every scenario, this is good unless we're playing like Is It or something. Oh, they duress us right away. That feels bad. Hopefully they don't take the field trip or the druid class. Exiling their graveyard with farewell too is really nice when you're talking about mono black. Oh, they take the druid class. That's actually pretty high level thinking there to take that. Cram Session. All right, this is the kind of deck I can get behind. I like duress. I like Cram Session too. Some of my favorite cards, not gonna lie. All right, let's go grab our forest and guess just keep our land going, huh? Keep the land going. Eventually we'll hit a Storm the Festival, by the way, which was a really sick top deck. Thank goodness we hit it. And yeah, man, we're cruising. I'm not even worried about this. They're a little too slow here for me to honestly kind of care right now. They're letting us set up all day long. And we are way ahead on the mana curve here, and got a pretty clean Storm the Festival coming your way. Hopefully it hits though. That's the thing, right? Storm the Festival is kind of one of those cards that it can really bite you in the butt if it doesn't hit. A lot of mana for nothing. There it goes. I'd say that's a pretty good hit. Yeah. I'm in no rush for these tree folks, if you guys haven't noticed. I'm in really no rush for them. And of course we whiff completely. Unbelievable. I mean, it's just that the tree folk is nice, but we're not going to be able to copy it this turn anyway. So I thought maybe plussing that would be pretty good. We'd missed, you know, we didn't hit a land drop, so it would have been nice, but we missed completely. Threw away some really good cards. Sunrise is going to keep us in this game as far as card draw goes, so we're going to keep the Sunrise for sure. All right, nice. We hit a land. We get the tree folk now. We get to play the Glorious Sunrise. It draws us a card. We start copying 7/7s. That all feels pretty awesome. I could have attacked with the 2/2s. That was a mistake. Sorry, I jumped the gun there a little bit. Should have definitely tapped the 7/7. But hey, we got a good body to block with. I guess that's a good argument to have, I guess. But there's not going to be anything hasty, so definitely should have not tapped the cats there. All right, another Sunrise feels pretty sweet too. Can't lie. Blood on a Snow does not come down on turn 5. That's a turn 6, right? I believe so. I think it's a turn 6. So feeling pretty good there. They duress my Sunrise, which feels bad. It's pretty good duress. A lot of hand hate, huh? That's all this is, huh? Just a bunch of hand hate. I mean, our board state though, you should probably start focusing on that a little bit. Here comes the nonsense supreme, baby. You ready for this? Now we start spitting 1/1 counters on everything. Like, come on, give me a break. Give me a break. Don't mind if I draw a card here. Another land, which means we get to avoid the nonsense of duress. These tree folk, by the way, vigilance. GG's. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Very clean game there for us. Are we back in the 90s? Thank goodness. Let's go. All right, this deck feels so good. I might even go on a limb here and say this might be my new current favorite right now. It's doing really well. Obviously, we only got 2 games to go off of here, but let's see if we can keep it rolling, man. It just feels really good. Like, it felt like even with all the hand disruption there, like they didn't stand a chance. Imagine we get that druid class down too early. Oh my goodness. That was not a traditional style of mono black though, that's for sure. Wow, this is a interesting hand because Farewell's obviously really good. I mean, all these cards are really good, but that is no ramp. So I've got a mulligan, I think. Better. It's better. Let's hope we hit one land off the top and our problems for mana will be solved forever. That's not a land. That is a cat chariot. Come on, land. Help me out here. One time for the one time. Hit me with the land. Going second here hurts, I think, but they're not super aggressive. And we do get our land, thank goodness. If we can find one more, I'll that would be great. I know it's asking a lot. Asking for 2 lands back to back is a lot. But you know what? I'll take it if you can give it to me. All right. Just waiting on our opponent here to see what they're doing. I'm still not too sure what's up with their deck here. I would imagine if you're playing this card Specimens, you're almost guaranteed to be running the Sedgemoor Witch. I would assume. That's just me, but... Farewell. That's not a bad card to draw. It's gonna keep me alive. Keep the mana flowing. I think Environmental Sciences is going to be like the main card we draw from almost every time, but you never know. You never know. Specimen again. They go ahead and they go for another Environmental Sciences. Okay. Felidar Retreat. Still pretty good card here. Kind of want to do this though. And then what? Then we just plus this? That seems like a pretty bad proposition if you ask me. Maybe it is the Felidar Retreat. Let's go Felidar Retreat. We take a turn off of not hitting land, which is really bad for us. That's kind of what we do, is hit our land drops, but it's okay. It's okay. We're doing all right. Target player opponent discards 2 cards. You could, okay, that's pretty brutal. Discard 2 cards. All right, that's a decayed zombie, by the way, so that will go away eventually. All right, well, I guess we go here. We grab a land. We go here. We get a cat. Plus here, and that's about all we can do for now. No problems though. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. If we can hit a land though, we could start spitting out the scute swarms, and that would feel pretty awesome. Or I can just go straight into Glorious Sunrise, play the land plus my cat, and start drawing cards. That's also an option. Drawing cards seems like a good idea, seeing we're kind of mismatched on our hand sizes at the moment. That's going to be pretty key. I don't know. Don't know. I'm definitely not beating them in the ramp department at the moment, which is pretty crazy. This says that sacrifice another creature, draw a card, then transform this. Activate only once each turn. Okay. All right, we do get a land. So I think we're going to go with the Sunrise play. We're going to plus the cat, which then allows us to draw a card. Yasharn. Oh, let's go. Yasharn is pretty awesome because Yasharn is going to allow them not to be able to sacrifice anything, which is going to be a lot of their game plan. You know, thinking about Deadly Disputes, thinking about this card right here, the Awakener. It's going to be able to sacrifice creatures. So being able to play Yasharn, not letting them sacrifice creatures, going to be pretty busted. Plus it's 2 lands for the turn. So that's kind of cool too. Might even be able to pull off a Scute Swarm. If we hit a land off the top, we could play Scute Swarm into Yasharn. That could be nice. change the song here up a little bit. All right, discard. Oh, 2 cards. Brutal. Brutal. Man. I'm only keeping Yasharn because the ability to draw 2 lands here and the ability to stop them from sacrificing. I think those are 2 things that we can't put a price on because it just advances our game plan, you know what I'm saying? If only we had this and 1 more land, like I said, we could do that combo, but we're gonna have to wait on the Scute Swarm for a turn. Maybe we don't have to. We could get 1 copy of the Scute Swarm. I guess that's kind of good. I am worried about like blood on the snow and stuff like that, but it is what it is. Let's give it a shot here. Another Sunrise is nice. Can't lie, that's actually a really good top deck here as long as we can keep it in hand and not have it discarded out of our hand. What's with these mono black discard decks, huh? Not a fan. Not a fan of playing against them, that is. Replicating rings starting to go off a little bit. I think it's 8 ticks, right? At least 8 or more, yep. All right, this isn't 6/6 flyer. It says at the beginning of your end step, sacrifice a non-demon creature. If you do, create a token that's a copy. Except you can't, though, right? Wait, what? Oh, is this... Players can't pay life or sacrifice non-land permanents to cast spells or activate abilities. That's a passive. That's unfortunate. So that doesn't actually fall into the same category here. Definitely going to be drawing some cards here. There's another land. I'd love to see it. You go. No, they've got 6 flyers here, huh? No attacks. No problem. No attacks, no problems. I love it. I love it. All right. 2 lands off the top would be pretty nice. And then we go ahead and give the all of my creatures trample next turn. Give them all +1 in trample would be pretty sweet. They're going to draw a card with that. So at the beginning of their end step, man, that's pretty crazy. They keep doing that stuff. I wouldn't have done that though if I were them. Do they understand how much damage is coming back in their way? I don't know if they do. Here we go. Pretty sure this should do it, my friends. Pretty sure this should do it. I'm fairly certain this should do it. That is, let's go ahead and do this, and let's do this, and we should have no issues here, I think. Oh man, vigilance on everything. Everything's got trample. Good luck. Good luck. That's about 700 damage coming your way. Boom. Oh, I love this deck. I love it. It feels so nice to finally have something playable, man. I've been trying some nonsense, man. You have these weeks sometimes when you're doing this stuff, man, where you're like, you get home and you have an idea, you throw it together, and you think you're taking apart, you know, like all the meta and what you need, and it just doesn't pan out, and you just feel so deflated. And just really happy this one worked out. Been struggling the last day or two here, not gonna lie. Been a little bit of a struggle. Love the druid class on turn 2 here. Love going first too. I can't be too upset about going first. Gaining that life, baby. Back up to 21. No problems. About to play Glorious Sunrise too. Do we want to actually play Glorious Sunrise? That's a good question. Doesn't really do anything for us, does it? Gains us life, I guess. But I think we can do better. I think we can do better than that. I could lay 2 lands down. So I mean, if we get another land here, I was gonna say a scute swarm would be a definite possibility, but looks like we don't hit the land, which means we go with the retreat into Yasharn next turn. Seems okay. The cat can protect us from the 3/1 for now. It gets first strike, right? So that gets first strike with the pack tactics. Can't block the 3/3. That's fine. Man, this is actually a very aggressive deck though that they have here. So gotta kind of get moving here a little bit. I can't lie. Gotta keep moving. It's gonna get tough. That elemental though can't. That's nice. That elemental can't keep growing like that forever though, right? Like that's. The ramps eventually got to slow down for them. All right. Let's go with a cat. And then let's go ahead and give him 1/1 so we can block efficiently. And say go. Farewell is really nice here. Being able to just exile creatures if things go sideways for us a little bit here. I don't think they will. I think we're pretty solid now, but you never know. Royal Eruption for 5. They kicked that sucker, huh? Interesting. Just gonna trade that? All right. Sounds good to me. No lands though. This is tough. This is tough. I could activate our own land here as a big, what is it? 5, 6, 7, 7. And get a 7/7 out here, which does avoid the Royal Eruption stuff. Maybe that's the play. Maybe that's the play. All right. So we missed the land drop, which really just falters our whole situation here. We can block though. I'm happy with this because we can block, you know, even if that thing gets really big. It opens up Glorious Sunrise as a draw ability. I like that the Glorious Sunrise activates on the attack step. It makes it a very interesting card. Most things do upkeeps and end steps. I like the fact that it does it on the attack step. It makes it a potential main phase 2 play happen and open up, which is pretty cool. They must have a way to deal damage to my 7/7. Okay, so they're going Royal Eruption again. Interesting. They can't attack. I'll take it. I will take it. Going for the Sunrise. I think I need the life gain here. Two cat. More life gain on the land drops. Let's draw a card. Hopefully it's a land. It is. Beautiful. No attacks. Leave back some defenses for now. 1/1 counters on everything. Yeah. All right. Looking good. Looking good. All right. So now we're gaining 2 life every time a land hits the battlefield, and we can play up to 2 lands a turn. Potentially 3 next turn if I do this bad boy. They have no way to get around this 10/10. That's the problem with their deck, is that they focus on burn and fight spells alone. So there's no way they're ever going to get around it. As long as that stays back, there's nothing they can do. They say nice. Well, it's about to get even nicer because we're going to gain life off of this. They say good game. I was going to hit the Field of Ruin on their non-basic, get another land, and then draw a card with the Sunrise, hopefully getting another land, and it would have just got absolutely out of control. But GG's. I genuinely don't know if we're going to lose with this deck. I don't know. That was the closest we've come to losing so far, I think, but I genuinely don't think we are. We get to go first. We get to ramp into the Sunrise. Seems fine to me. Let's just hope we keep hitting that land. We do. Beautiful. 2 Field of Ruins. Not exactly what you want to see, but it's all good. All right, so we get a Glorious Sunrise next turn or a Ren, whichever one we want. Turn 3 for them, turn 5 for us. That's pretty good. Wedding announcement, sure. I think I'm gonna go with the Ren and plus up to try to hit another land. We're in no danger of losing the Ren right now, so let's just go and plus up. And we don't hit anything. Are you kidding me with this plus? Dude, how do you plus Ren and not hit a single land? That's crazy. And then we get binded. Wow. Okay. Get absolutely destroyed. Get wrecked. I got absolutely bodied by my own deck here. Fine though. Learned my lesson. Just spit out the treasure, or spit out the tree folk and just get on with yourself, man. Unreal. Imagine we plus there and we actually hit lands. Like, we'd be in such a good spot right now. Mirror box. Uh-oh, that's some nonsense you never want to see there. All right, we actually hit 2 lands. Who knew? Who knew that was possible? And let's go ahead and get one more land while we're at it. And why not a big fractal, right? I mean, let's have some fun this game. Let's have some fun this game. No attacks. Well, if we don't attack here, Ren's gonna die either way, right? Let's put some pressure on him. Ren's gonna die either way, because if they come back with attacking with all 3 to the Ren, you know, we're gonna take away one of their guys and they're gonna still kill it anyway, so it didn't matter. Now they have Death Touch too, so that's also pretty brutal. All right, so they're gonna minus clearly on my Tree Folk. Ouch. They double attack up here. They leave themselves open though to have their Kaya killed, which I don't think they realize, so that's kind of nice. Another land. Interesting. I think I could have done that differently. I actually think I could have got a second sunrise down here. Could have. Feels bad, man. Yeah, get the sunrise down. I should have done that prior to combat. Could have got 2 cards there. Just rushing my plays a little bit. Rushing my plays. Alright, so I got the mirror box. So you gotta anticipate multiple planeswalkers, I would assume. Alright, they blood on the snow. Get back to Kaya. Brutal. They minus the druid class after it's already got all of its abilities and effects done. That's... I'll take it. Let's do this for 3. Let's do it for 2, 5. Yeah, let's do it for 5. Let's do it for 5. Draw 2 cards. Okay. I was hoping to get maybe like a Yasharn. That's why I left 4 mana open. I didn't expect to get a third Glorious Sunrise. That was definitely not what I anticipated there. They can't minus though, which is nice. Okay, but they can do that. That's pretty brutal. I guess I should have done it for 6, huh? I didn't anticipate a meat hook. It's not something I thought was gonna happen. Take another Field of Ruin here. Draw 2 cards. Asika's Chariot. Finally, something decent that I can get behind and get some value out of. Let's go ahead and drop that bad boy down. Two kitty cats. Let's go. This is a tough game, man. This is a tough game. We faced 2 Kayas. Meat Hook Massacre. Blood on the Snow. I'm like, we're definitely in a battle here. And they whiffed the Storm the Festival, man. It was a ramp off for sure, though. That was a fun matchup there. All right, well, I just lost to mono white. I looked over after the video, the game was over, and I just realized I didn't even click record. Unbelievable. But we did just lose to mono white. It happens. I was just saying too before the game even started, because I had this whole thing, had no idea I wasn't recording, so of course I was talking to nobody, and I had this whole thing where I said, you know, I feel pretty good about our deck, but the only things that kind of scare me are mono red and mono white because they're a little more aggressive. Hopefully getting to farewell quick enough will be the key, but we didn't even see a farewell that game, and we didn't even make it till turn 4 before they actually already killed us. So very aggressive, very powerful list they had. All right, I love seeing my hand just filled with mana. I actually genuinely do. Not bad. We go level 2 on the druid class. We start gaining a ton of life. We followed up with Felidar into 2 more lands, and we're off to the races, ladies and gentlemen. Field trip can get us a mascot. Hopefully we're gonna gain a ton of life here in this game. So much mana. So much mana. This is Sim 1991. It's the year I was born. What's going on? There you go. All right, let's do this. How about another life? Let's go. All right, looking really good. I feel like the curve out too in the druid class to Felidar and stuff. Such a good curve out, man, because now we play Felidar, 2 more lands. Like that is just, that's about as perfect a curve as you can ask for. The only thing we would change is going first. That's about it. They are going to draw a card here by attacking in with these 2 because of the wedding announcement, so that kind of stinks. All right, so they're an enchantment deck. Interesting. Didn't really anticipate that. I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't anticipate that. It seems odd that I wouldn't anticipate it. All right. Hopefully Felidar can keep us alive here, though, with a bunch of blockers. Scute Swarm obviously follows that up. Farewell. Hello. Hello, hello. Am I willing to throw away a druid class? I don't know. Oh, no, I just... Well, it looks like we're gonna have to do a farewell. Let's see. Creatures and enchantments, and say goodbye. Yeah, that was tough. I was contemplating that play. It was definitely something that crossed my mind of doing, but I think I was settled on the fact that I was gonna play Felidar there and then play my 2 lands. But as I was thinking that thought through, my hand just naturally out of instinct threw down a land and screwed the whole thing up. All right, let's go here, here, here. And I do want to hit another land so we can get the Scute Swarm going. Seems fine. All right, so a Renin 7 off the top would be probably the most ideal thing for me because I want to make sure the lands keep flowing through so we can get these Scute Swarms going. Borrowed time. Yikes. Well, the Scute Swarms aren't going to get nasty big anymore. I mean, that's fine. I mean, if that's their big grand plan here, that's fine. Could have been a lot worse. All right, so we bring them down to 21. They have 3 cards in hand to my 1. I'm in a bad spot here, if I'm being honest. Like, hopefully they go for like another, like, yeah, Circle of Confinement here. Now, hopefully they go for my Scute Swarm. Can they? They can. So here's what we'll do. We'll crack this. Hey, they saw it from a mile away. They're like, hopefully they don't crack that Field of Ruin. So we were gonna crack that Field of Ruin right there and then spit out 2 more Scute Swarms. GG's. That's gonna do it for the day, today's gameplay footage, guys. I hope you enjoyed. We got the Scute Swarm to absolutely pop off for us. This deck actually performed. It outperformed what I ever thought it could do. Honestly, it really did. We're gonna break it down though and talk about some things we might want to change to this deck, but As always, before we do that, I just want to give a huge shout out and thank you to everyone who's made it this far into the video. It helps the algorithm so much when you guys stay this long, and it pushes my videos out to more people. So thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, let's talk about the list a little bit. So I enjoyed it. I think it's very, very good. Obviously, we won a ton of games, so I can't be upset about the performance. But the game I did lose that was off video was an aggro deck. And like I was telling you in the video, I did just get done explaining how I think if we were against an aggro matchup, whether it be mono red or mono white, I think it'd be tough to beat because we are a little bit slower. We do have life gain along the way, but there is some sense of building to this deck. And if we go first against either one of those decks, you should still be okay. If we go second, that's where we start to have a really big problem, because I don't think in that matchup we can win almost at all, based on the fact that we don't even have anything till turn 2 on the minimum, and then on top of that, that's only 4 of. So most of the time we're gonna see our 3-drop come in as our first play, and that's not good if you're going against mono red and mono white, because they can get you dead by turn 4, and that's just not good enough. So as far as things I would change, you could take the Farewell and you could completely cut that from the deck, and you could throw in Doomscar. Doomscar being the obvious choice because it's, 3 mana, sweep everything. That can help you against those matchups, right? Farewell, I do think, is a much better removal tool because of things like enchantments. If you target creatures and enchantments, you can get rid of their whole board. Doomscar is just a little bit quicker of a way to do things, and it could protect you because you can get this down on turn 3, and then after that you can focus back again on your ramp plan. So Doomscar could be a viable substitution for Farewell and have a better matchup against those particular deck builds. Again, I still think Farewell's a better card. I would more think that you'd want to, look for more of like more 1 and 2 drop creatures, or 1 and 2 drop ways to ramp up without without focusing too much on the sweepers. You could throw in things like Portable Hole. It is a permanent that Storm the Festival can grab, and it can kind of mitigate a little bit of that early pressure. You can go for things like, if you want to ramp a little bit quicker, you could throw down things, where is it at? Lotus Cobra. Yeah, Lotus Cobra. I'm a big fan of this card. Lotus Cobra is a great way to generate a ton of mana very quickly. So it's not necessarily going to change your game plan at all, but it's at least going to help you ramp up into your bigger spells a little bit faster, and hopefully keep you alive long enough to get to those bigger things. Plus, it's a 2/1 body, so it's not only just ramp, it's also kind of a good body for you to have. But there are multiple ways you can kind of approach this situation. More 1 and 2 drops is the primary key here, I think, in order to stay alive long enough to get to where you need to be. If you can find more 2-mana ramp spells, that's totally fine too, but the idea is you need to get to these bigger spells quicker, especially if you're going to be using Farewell as your main sweeper. If you switch to Doomscar, you don't have to worry too much about that kind of stuff. But it's preference. It's preference. I'm just kind of giving some ideas here on some quick ideas on how you can maybe adjust the deck to make it perform a little better against your more unfavorable matchups. As far as your favorable matchups, your controls, your mid-ranges that are taking a little while to set up their game plans as well, you should have no problems. This deck does, once it gets to its top end, it is hard to beat. They need sweepers in order to handle you. So if your opponent's not running sweepers, they're probably in trouble. But yeah, man, I like the deck a lot. If you guys have any ideas on how to make it better, please leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the deck and what you think. But that's gonna do it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Before I completely get out of here, it is Monday. We are going to be doing videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday this week, so be on the lookout for that. This Wednesday we have a live stream, and on that live stream we're going to be doing Swayze versus the mob, and that's going to be me going against you guys. If you guys want to play, you can hit the Discord link in the description below. I'll let you know when we go live. You can also send me your information so I can add you on Arena, but it's a lot of fun. We do it every end of the month. This time we're going to be doing it obviously at the beginning of this month, the way the days lined up, but it's a lot of fun. I hope to see you guys all there. And lastly, before I get out of here, huge shout out, of course, goes to the Marty Mob. Thank you guys so much for being part of the Marty Mob. I really appreciate each and every single one of you for everything you guys do for me. I can't thank you enough for being part of the Marty Mob. You guys know what you guys mean to me. At this point, I thank you guys at the end of every video, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart how much I truly appreciate each and every single one of you for everything you do for me, man. If you guys want to learn more about the Marty Mob and how to become a member, you can hit the join button down below or the link in the description. But that's going to do it for today's video, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Till then, peace.
Hit him 3 times like a hat trick. The name is Fizzy, no Patrick. If you play him, then it's tragic. Hit him with the Mythic, yeah, that's magic. MTG, that's what you'll see if you like and subscribe. With the upload, man. Man, all of the time. Coming with the best decks, this is the meta. This ain't cheap.